Hello to my beautiful collectives out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro Cheryl. And this is your forecast for your astrology forecast, that is for February 2026. Wow, time is passing us right by. And before we get started, I just want to share with you some of the things that I want to point out for the month because this is a fast month because we only have 28 days in February. So things are moving pretty rapidly at this time. And when I say 2026, it brings to mind that in Ethiopia, they're only in 2018 because of the calendar that they use. So we're here, they're there, and their calendar is a solar calendar, whereas ours is the Gregorian calendar. But with their calendar, their body is more accustomed to the earth because it being a solar calendar, when the sun rises, that's when the time begins. When the sun sets, that's when the time ends. Okay, and I think that's important because we are, as a collective, our frequency on the planet is being reset because we're in the age of Aquarius, right? And the feminine Kundalini energy is rising, so that is creating change, and that's why in the Americas we see that government system breaking down because the Kundalini energy is about not about control, okay? It's more about our emotions and bringing love into the story, you know. So we're seeing a lot of what's been hidden coming to the surface, especially with those people who are in positions of authority. Okay, and what we have this month is a stellium starting out the month in the sign of Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius is all about the people having the power. Okay, and in the Americas, we can see that the system is breaking down and the people are starting to pay attention, take control. Okay, so we have, Mercury in Aquarius right now, Venus in Aquarius right now, the Sun in Aquarius right now. And we also have two asteroids, Vesta, and Vesta is the virgin goddess of hospitality. However, she's committed to her own internal flame. Okay, so when we're talking about your own internal self, God, that's where Vesta is touching in on us, is for us to remember who we really are. And the other asteroid is Astrea, and she is about justice, okay? And this is what we're looking at right now at this moment in time. We're looking at how that feminine energy is rising. And again, it's called the Kundalini, where, you know, some of us may have thought that that was a masculine energy, but no, it's a female energy. And we all have male and female in our body, okay? We are dual energies. So she's raising the vibration, and it is up to us as individuals whether or not you want to change your frequency, okay? Because either you in or it's going to go without you. Okay, and let's see what else did I want to say. We also have Pluto in Aquarius, okay? So big changes, transformation energy here. Then we have this full moon in Leo, which is about the heart, you know, thinking, not thinking with your mind, but with your heart, okay? And this is in opposition to this stellium in Aquarius. However, with the full moon, we're talking about releasing things that no longer serve us. So it's a time where we have to get to the point where we have to start shining, okay? This is our time to shine as individuals. So wherever it is in your, what is it, your inner child, where you feel or was taught that you're not enough, you are enough. And you have to change that concept of who you are, because this is about growth. And whether we like it or not, we're going to have to accept where we're headed. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to just discuss a few other things that's happening this month. We have Uranus turning direct in in Taurus, okay? And then we have Mercury moving out of that stellium into Pisces on the 6th. Venus moves out of that stellium and moves into Pisces on the 10th. Saturn, this is the big deal. Saturn moves into Aries on the 13th, okay? And that is where Saturn will stay there for the next 2 years. And that's where we have Neptune, and they will conjunct. Okay, we also have there is so much packed energy here. We have the solar eclipse happening in Aquarius, and that's going to be on the 17th. And we also have the lunar new year happening as well, moving out of the snake energy, Kundalini, and into the fire horse. So we have lots of fast paced energy happening this month. So things are going to be moving rapidly, suddenly, shockingly, because we have Uranus moving direct. Okay, and let's see if there's anything else I want to share with you. On the 20th, Saturn conjuncts Neptune in Aries at 0 degrees. Now, this is like a super duper manifesting energy. So, whatever it is that you feel, because it's your emotions that is going to dictate to how your manifestations show up for you in your life. So use your feelings wisely. We also have Mercury turning retrograde in Pisces on the 26th. And the last thing, we'll have Mars in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus on the 27th. Okay, so take a breather. You know, you got to settle in and try not to be reactive, because this passionate, fiery energy is here for us this month. But we need to move with intention and consciously. Okay, so I'll see you on the other side. Hello to my beautiful Virgo collectives out there. Welcome to my channel, Astro Cheryl, and this is your monthly forecast for February 2026. Time is moving by so fast. We're already in the month of February, and it's only 28 days, so we'll be in March before you blink an eye. But anyway, I did an introduction video, so please take a look at that to get some of the highlights that I'm not mentioning in your forecasts. Okay, I'm going to start right with the 1st of February. So there's a full moon in the sign of Leo, and this is happening in your 12th house. And your 12th house is about your unconscious, hidden enemies, retreats, your own self undoing, karmic information, past lives, healing, and I know I said your subconscious, but that too. Okay, so that's what your 12th house is about. And this full moon is illuminating and amplifying your solitude, your dreams, and your karmic closure. It urges retreat over outward drama. And you know, Leo is about shining, being the star, center of attention. Okay? But here, this energy has to be defined to self. Okay? So you may feel a surge of hidden pride or unrecognized talents resurfacing in a private way. Expect revelations, okay, about self sabotage, like unspoken fears blocking your authentic self expressions. You may have feelings of isolation or behind the scenes exhaustion, of scenes of exhaustion. Okay, you might be exhausted. Okay, well, this Virgo rising, you know, you're the, you know, multitasker. So, yeah. So, on the 3rd, we have Uranus stations direct in Taurus. And this is happening in your 9th house of spirituality, your belief systems, your religion, other cultures, long distance travel. Did I say higher education? Teaching, publishing. Okay, so here with Uranus stationing direct, you may be questioning your beliefs, and this may bring about spiritual awakenings or new philosophies, like exploring metaphysics or alternative cultures. Okay? Sagittarius, no, sorry, spontaneous trips or digital nomadism may arise. Broadening your horizons through offbeat destinations may arise as well, because this is unconventional. This is Uranus energy. You may pursue unconventional studies, such as online courses or revolutionary fields that disrupts the routine education. And a lot of that is happening here in the world, because change is happening rapidly. And this is a good place for you to have Uranus in the 9th house, because you know it's going to open your mind so much more to what is in fact real and what is not, and what you've been holding on to that is not real. So For all of us, it's awakening, an awakening. We are awakening, and it's time for us to remember who we really are. Okay? So here on the 6th, we have Mercury moves retrograde to Pisces, and this is happening in your 7th house. And Mercury is detriment in the sign of Pisces, so it doesn't work very well. So during this transit, because the 7th house is about relationships, it's about your one on ones, business partnership, and your close family relationships, friendships, people of that nature. And it also rules legal contracts, divorces, marriages, those kinds of things. So during this transit, your logic can blur into fantasy, leading to miscommunication with an S, indecisions, or paranoia in dealing with others. You may attract intellectually stimulating people or strengthen bonds via shared dreams and subtle cues like a telepathic rapport. Now, that can happen because Pisces is such an intuitive energy that it's psychic. Now, on the 10th, we have Venus in Pisces happening in your 7th house. And Venus is exalted in Pisces. Venus enjoys being in the sign of Pisces. So you can expect heightened compassion and mutual understanding with partners, spouses of close or close collaborators. Okay? Your bonds deepen through intuitive, unspoken affection, idealizing love as a mutual union. Okay? Business partnerships may also flourish with cooperative energy of Venus. So on the 13th, we have Saturn moving to Aries and will remain there for the next 2 years, 2028. And this happens in your 8th house of death, transformation, your taxes, shared resources, other people's money, like maybe the parents' investments. Let's see what else. Your psychological issues, psychic energy as well, banking, taxes, and, the like. Oh boy. Okay. So here you can expect lessons in emotional maturity through endings and rebirth, such as relationship shifts or financial restructuring involving debt, inheritance, or joint assets. You may you may face tests, excuse me, tests of trust, shadow work, or sexual integrity, building resilience over time. Okay? So just know what's happening to you is happening for you as well. Growth. Now, the 17th is the new moon in Aquarius, and this is happening in your 6th house of daily routines, on your work, being of service, and during this time, you're encouraged to break free from monotonous patterns because, of course, Aquarius is innovative, unconventional, forward thinking, and embrace flexibility, flexibility, freedom loving as well, in your schedule. Experiment with progressive approaches to wellness and productivity. You may be drawn to team oriented projects, tech driven efficiencies, or humanitarian efforts in your job while prioritizing collective good over rigid individual individualism. So on the 20th, we have Neptune in Aries conjuncting Saturn in the eighth house. Ooh. Okay, I have to put things on pause. Give me just a moment. My apologies. There was an unexpected guest at my door, so I had to stop, but now I'm back. So let's fast forward through the 20th, where we have Neptune in Aries conjunct Saturn at 0 degrees, new beginnings in your eighth house. And your eighth house is about death, transformation, shared resources, other people's money, taxes, debts, banking, psychological issues, psychic energy as well. Okay, so Neptune is going to be here until 2039. And this is the beginning of a 36-year cycle here. Now, what Neptune and in Aries conjuncting Saturn is doing is this new beginning in this eighth house energy where you are being tested with creating boundaries and stability for yourself, because Saturn is only going to be in this house for 2 years until 2028. And then Neptune will stay there for the next 11 years. So Saturn's test is teaching you to stay grounded, stay in the present moment, create your boundaries, and stay focused. Okay? So when Saturn leaves, hopefully you pass the test. Otherwise, in this esoteric house, a lot of things can happen. You can stay in the fog and not really know what you really want to do in this eighth house energy, okay? Or how you want to do it, relationships, other people's money, gambling, losing other people's money. No, you don't really want to take that type of action. So that's why Neptune and Saturn is here working through this energy. Okay, so you can expect challenges in discerning fantasy from feasible outcomes, okay, especially in investments or emotional mergers. Face your fears or karmic debts. Face them head on so that you can get everything out in the open. Intimate bonds may test trust and commitment, urging mature vulnerability over escapism. So just know that this is a reset, okay? And let's see, Virgo rising, there's a lot of growth in this eighth house for you, okay? So on the 26th, we have Mercury retrograde in Pisces, and this is happening in your seventh house, and we've already spoke about that. Your mental clarity may be disrupted, and confusion or idealistic thinking in relationships is amplified. Okay? Communication with partners, romantic, business, or close friends may feel foggy because we have Pisces here unbounded. And, this is encouraging you to set some boundaries, leading to misunderstanding or resurfacing of old issues. Okay, delays in our agreements or contracts are common. Okay, exercise caution with new commitments. And the last thing we'll speak on, Aries, Virgo rising, is Mars in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus. And this is happening in your sixth house, and your sixth house of routine work, and your ninth house of higher learning and spiritual growth and your beliefs. Okay, so you may experience abrupt, and that's Uranus energy, shaking things up, abrupt job changes, health shocks from travel, okay, or conflicts over ideas versus practical duties. Sudden insights could liberate outdated routines that you have, and tensions peaks quickly, but at the same time they get resolved through detached action, which is Mars in Aquarius. Okay, so Virgo rising, this is your forecast for February 2026. And until next time, bye for now.